right, this is the May 2020 Orioles rebuild recap. And as you can see up here, our record on June 1st is 25-35. So if we go to the team statistics, we can see that the O's went 11-18 this month. And we are last or dead last in the AL in basically everything. I mean, runs scored, we're last. Runs allowed, we're last. It's not good. As expected, though. We're rebuilding. And as you can see on the schedule here, we had some rough patches. We swept the White Sox 4 in a row. So outside of that, there was 7-18 was the record. You know, lost 7 of 8 there, 5 of 6 here, ended with 3 in a row. So yeah, let's start by looking at the trade log. I made a few trades early in the month. What am I doing? Lost my train of thought. Okay. So transactions, trades, trade log. There weren't any major league trades other than my two since that Benintendi trade. But then after recording the last episode, I traded Mason Williams, who was an outfielder who was just kind of a dude for me. I mean, he was decent, kind of career minor league guy who, maybe a 4A player, kind of a fringe guy, but he can field well. He's got some speed. I mean, he seems okay. So the Marlins were the only team interested in him. And the Marlins are also the only team interested in Dwight Smith when I traded him, and they traded for Benintendi. So they're trying to add some outfield depth, I guess. So anyways, they wanted me to take John Birdie off their hands, which I did, but then immediately traded him. I got $890,000 in cash, and then I just picked up 2 relief prospects. This guy, Sam Bordner, he's now in Delmarva, where he's pitched 14 innings and not given up a run yet. That's pretty cool. But, he looks like he's kind of a fringe major league guy if all things go according to plan. And then Kaysen Sherrod, he's a 23-year-old I put in Frederick. He's been pitching pretty well, as you can see. His line's all right, striking a bunch of people out, not giving up any home runs yet. And then what I did was, this was a trade I liked a lot more. I turned around and saw who wanted Birdie, and the San Diego Padres did. So they gave me $100,000 in cash, and they gave me Javi Guerra, who was pitching, I think, an A ball or so. Yeah, high A when I traded for him. He pitched for the real Padres last year. So I immediately put him in AAA, and he became my closer. He's pitched 8 2/3 inning, hasn't allowed a run. He's striking out 13.5 per 9. I don't know. He looks like he could be a pretty good reliever. I don't necessarily like that he's a fly-ball pitcher in Camden Yards. Obviously, there's 0 home runs per 9. Won't last up there. But otherwise, I really like him as a possible relief piece. And then Alan Cordoba, I got him in the deal. He's kind of like I think he might be able to develop into a utility player. I've got him working on a shortstop rating. He's electing a shortstop to get that up. And then I'll probably try to work on left field and right field. So maybe he can be like a backup corner outfielder and middle infielder. He's hitting okay right now. He's got a 106 OPS plus in 112 at bats. So he's not going to lead the rebuild or anything, but I think he could be like a utility guy possibly. We'll see what happens. And then just going to some other transactions over the course of the month. There were those trades. I signed a backup catcher, Wilkin Castillo, because I needed some more leadership. He's now in AAA, but he's around. He's on the 40-man. He's like 35. He's okay at defense. He's a pretty good defender, and he's a leader. So, and with that, I put Pedro Severino on waivers. He got claimed by the Indians. They've since put him on waivers, and he's somewhere now. Garrett Cooper, who I'd gotten that earlier trade from the Marlins, put him on waivers. The Cubs took him. Cool, they can take that salary. I claimed Drew Butera on waivers. He's a leader and a catcher, good defensively, terrible offensively so far for the O's. I purchased this guy, I believe, from an independent league. Luis Colmenares. He's a 22-year-old pitcher who looks okay. My scout saw him out there, and I figured, why not add a 22-year-old arm who looks like he could be decent, at least decent minor league depth. Esmil Rogers, I signed to a minor league contract and then put on the 40-man and called him up because I just needed guys who could give me innings that weren't terrible. So he's been okay. 2.84 ERA, only 6 1/3 innings so far. Let's see who else. Ronald Torreyes. He was with the Yankees as kind of like utility guy a couple of years ago. I signed him and I made him my second baseman. I sent Stevie Wilkerson down. He's a really good fielder. He's not hitting for worth anything, but I like that he was a better fielder. Anything else? Oh, Trevor Cahill. Again, I just needed a dude who could throw innings. He was making the league minimum. My pitching was getting shelled. And as you can see, he's put up a 7.24 ERA so far in 3 starts. But that BABIP's going to come down. And hopefully he won't give up a million home runs. He's an extreme ground ball pitcher. I like that. Daniel Mengden, I claimed him, but I've since actually DFA'd him. And I think he's going to go to Norfolk if he accepts the assignment. My scout and managers didn't think he could start. They didn't even put him in the rotation. So I got rid of him. I purchased this guy, Austin Hutchinson. Looks like he could be a decent guy. I put him in Double-A. I put him in Double-A. Oh, but he's hurt. That's right. He's had a rotator cuff strain. He's out until for another week. So he hasn't pitched yet. My scout signed that guy. And then I purchased this guy, Brian Luzardo, who's in Catonsville. And then I did sign a bunch of minor league guys. These were just kind of guys who've been drafted within the last couple of years and have been cut. And I just signed them as depth. Most of them in rookie ball. I won't go through all of them. And then I did DFA Tommy Malone. He was in my starting rotation. I don't think I DFA'd anybody else. I thought DFAs would be on here, but they're not. Okay. So that's that. The one bummer is Michael Bowman, who was off to an awesome start. He had a 2.68 ERA through 7 starts. His FIP was pretty good. It was around 3.5, I think. He put up 0.6 WAR through 7 starts, which I'll take. And he went out. He's missed basically the whole month. He's out for another 6-7 weeks till around the All-Star break. So that's a bummer. Hunter Harvey I think he was hurt during my last episode. And then he went on a rehab assignment and tore his labrum, so he's out. And let's see. Yusniel Diaz, he is out another 1 to 2 weeks. His diagnosis was pending last time, I remember, at the beginning of the month, so he's missed the whole month. The bummer of it here is Grayson Rodriguez continued to tear it up at A-ball and is out for 4 more weeks. He's missed about a week so far. But yeah, as you can see, he's probably ready for Double-A. 2 WAR through 9 starts. Goodness. So that's a bummer there. No other huge injuries. Armenteros will hopefully be back soon. He's been hurt since I traded for him. This is the lineup. Richie Martin batting leadoff about sums up the entire thing. That's about the state of the organization right there. If you go by weighted runs created plus, DJ Stewart's up. He's tearing it up in 112 bats. He's 43% above league average. He's put up 0.6 WAR in just 26 games. He's walking. He's hitting for power. His fielding isn't great. I almost have thought about sending him down to AAA and forcing him to work on his outfield, but he's hitting so well, I'm not going to do it. Valleca is just kind of a backup. Santander, 112. Still doing well. Chris Davis, only negative 0.1 WAR, 94 weighted runs created plus. Hey, man, we'll take that. Renato Nunez has tanked. He's got the lowest WAR among all hitters. Hanneman just kind of hanging out, not doing much. And then, a bunch of dudes who are just not doing anything. Pitching side of things, let's just sort by ERA to start. Blyer continues to pitch pretty well. Wojo has a good ERA, but goodness, he's out pitching his FIP by a good margin. Wyatt Short came over in the Cisco trade, continues to pitch well. Paul Fry, same thing as Wojo, out pitching his peripherals big time. Cahill, that's his season ERA, not just with me. Miguel Castro had a good month. He brought his ERA way down. Tanner Scott had a terrible month. The ERA went way up. Herman, he came over in the Givens trade. He was a young reliever. He's up right now. He's one of the guys who's kind of like up and down. I rotate like 3 or 4 guys to keep fresh arms up. Dean Kramer is getting blasted. I've thought about sending him down, but he's striking out 11.2 per 9. His FIP is like 2.5 runs lower. So I still have him up. And I've put some of these guys on the trade block too, like Tanner Scott, Castro Blyer, just to see if I can get anything for them. I'm not expecting much other than maybe Tanner Scott, I think. So I'm not going to go through the whole farm system, but just kind of look at the top prospects. Rutschman continues to rip it up at A-ball, 132 OPS plus. I'll probably call him up to double A at some point this season. I also wouldn't mind letting him work on first base a little bit so he could be like an adequate backup there. Grayson Rodriguez, we already talked about, he's hurt. DL Hall he's pitching fine. He's pitching okay. On pace for 2.3 WAR, but not striking anybody out. ERA is okay, and his FIP I looked at earlier is similar to his ERA. Austin Hayes is finally hitting okay. He's almost up to league average with his OPS plus. Abraham Toro, 99, pretty much exactly league average OPS plus. Don't love that. But his first base rating's up to a 60 now. Mountcastle continues to hit pretty well, 117 OPS plus. His third base was a 30 at the start of the year, but he's up to a 40. I think once he gets to a 45, I will put Toro at third base to have him work on that. Who else we got going on here? Diaz is hurt. Henderson's season hasn't started. Corey Abbott's putting up a good season. I know 3-0, 3.06 ERA might not tell you much depending on what stats you like, but pretty good numbers from him. He came over in the trade for Chance Sisco. Who else we got? Dean Kramer, we already talked about. Adam Hall continues to hit absolutely terribly at high A. Hunter Harvey's hurt. Bannon is in AAA and is doing okay. Bauman's hurt. Armentero's hurt. Brandon Bilek was one of the main guys that came over in the Mancini trade, and he's been a disaster. 9.36 ERA. He was striking a bunch of dudes out. I mean, honestly, he pitched in AAA last year, and he's given up more home runs. He's walking an additional batter per 9. It seems like bad results and bad luck. Just, hopefully he can get it together. I probably would have promoted him by now with all my pitching nightmares if he had been doing anything decent. Ryan McKenna's continuing to rip it up. I gave up on improving his center field because it wasn't going anywhere, so I put him in left field, and he's already started to improve that a few points. As you can see, 126 OPS plus. Heck yeah, dude, do it up. Stowers and Isbell, both in A-ball, they both continue to hit well. 2019 second-round pick, Stowers. Isbell came over from Kansas City in that Iglesias trade. And I am sure the other guy that everybody wants to see is Victor Mesa, who we got last month in that trade. He's playing center field. He's tearing it up. 126 OPS plus in 175 at-bats. 1.4 WAR through 39 games. We'll take that. Other things I'm doing is I'm preparing for the draft, which I'll talk about here in a few minutes. That's coming up. Just to look around the league real quick. Yankees are still playing well. The Orioles suck. The Twins are running away with the Central. The Indians are terrible. And the Angels are definitely below expectations. Astros running away with that division. Blue Jays leading the wild card. Red Sox are still in the hunt. I mean, hey, Baltimore Orioles only 6.5 games out of that second wild card, baby. Yeah. Over here, the entire East is good. All of them are above 500. Pirates are somehow leading the Central. Brewers are awful. Cardinals aren't good. The West looks like Dodgers and Padres are starting to pull away a bit. Braves, Nationals, Padres, and of course the Marlins in the wild card race. Oh, and I know last month I think we looked at Manny Machado. Continues to be awesome. He's got a 169, nice OPS plus, 3.2 WAR through 58 games. He's on pace for 8.6 wins above replacement and 43 homers. Good Lord. Good season from him so far. Other than that, just a quick look at the league leaders. Jeff McNeil's batting a nice 369 to lead the league. Quite a few Yankees in there. Stanton's got 25 home runs. A few other guys are over 20. Let's see. Jake Henneman's leading in caught stealing with 9. He's 6th in the league in steals with 14. So 14 steals, 9 caught. That's not good. And then WAR. Somehow the Indians having a bad season with Jose Ramirez already putting up 4 wins above replacement. About the names you'd expect there. Nothing too crazy. Corey Seager's having a nice year because he's healthy. Pitching leaders. Walker Bueller leading in ERA. Let's see. Wins above replacement. Corbin, Cole, Hendricks. Yeah, all dudes you'd expect. I mean, yeah, Syndergaard, DeGrom, Scherzer, Kershaw. Yeah, all names you'd expect. Cole's leading the league in strikeouts. Robbie Ray is leading in strikeouts per 9. Wow. He's striking a lot of people out. I don't know he does that in real life. 20 strikeouts to walk from Kershaw. He's running away with that a little bit. So yeah, and then FIP, Kershaw's leading the league. A lot of names you'd expect. So that's that. So the next thing that I'll have coming up is the draft, which here's the draft pool. I have all the guys scouted pretty well. So yeah, I've been scouting. Oh, this is way down on the list. I've been scouting the top guys. It looks like it's probably going to come down to Austin Martin or Jordan Walker. I'll go into them more on draft day. Martin's projected to go first overall, and Walker would probably be who I'd take. These are just batters here, but I don't see myself taking a pitcher second overall. Oops, I meant to do all players. There we go. But I'm just going to live broadcast the draft, or at least the first few rounds. So as you can see, my scout thinks, Martin and Walker are the top 2 overall. And if you look at the Out of the Park Scouting Association, they think Hassel or whatever, is up there. Who seems like he's going to be a mediocre corner outfielder when it comes to the glove, but a great hitter. But his bonus demand's absurd at $7.5 million, which is like $1 million over slot. And I don't know about all that, sir. But I'll go into that more in the draft. I'm planning on Thursday the 2nd at like 8 p.m. to do a live thing of the draft. Maybe I should have said that at the top. But I'm planning to do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep trucking ahead. I'll probably start trading guys. But again, I'm not really looking to call up a lot of guys this season. Like really Hayes, Mullins, Mountcastle, Toro. I really want to work on all their position eligibility and just also have them knock the crap out of the ball in AAA for a season. And then like next season, I think is the season where I'll start to bring dudes up and like see what I've got, kind of like shift the rebuild up a notch. Certainly not be competitive, but at least be doing it with guys trying to figure out who are pieces and who are. Whereas this season's just a total tank job at the major league level. All right, so that's all for this episode. Any questions, you can leave it in the comments. Other than that, I will hopefully be broadcasting live Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel with the second overall pick in the draft.